At the board's request, with the parking subcommittee, took this issue up again for discussion. Mr. Dunn was also there. Officer Rateau and I and Mrs. Kropelka went out to Swan Place as a group, as well as, I believe, Officer Rateau went out a second time. We looked at all the residences that were out there. We looked at the ones that had parking. We looked at the ones that didn't have parking and had no way to possibly put any in. And then we also looked at houses with requests for, more parking. They had parking for 2, 3, and one had parking for 4 cars. And then sometimes people were saying they needed beyond that. So what we had decided, and this is what I would put forth to my colleagues, or if Mr. Dunn wants to, if he remembers the compromise, or he can listen to what I know he's listening, to make sure I don't get it wrong. Again, we want to treat Swan Place similar to Forest Street. There's daytime and there's nighttime. There are 3 houses, and I believe Officer Rateau has provided that to us. It was on our desk for this agenda item. All but 3 houses have driveways, so that daytime parking, they can pull in there. There are 3 places that do not have any parking. So what we wanted to do, what we came up with as a compromise, was to have Swan Place have the same parking regulations similar to adjacent streets, which is 2-hour parking from, what is it, the adjacent? Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6, but recognizing there are 3 homes that just have no way to park daytime or nighttime, no way to put a driveway in, that we would issue permits for those 3 residents just for in front of their house. I know there's one house that spoke to me informally that wanted 6 spaces, and I said, again, we go with the policy, so that the Swan Place, the recommendation for daytime, and I'd like to take them separate. The daytime recommendation is same parking as adjacent streets, 2 hours, Monday through Saturday, from 8 to 6, with the caveat that the 3 residences, and we've been provided the addresses, just for those 3 residents, just for in front of their house, they can apply to, and we will issue them a permit to park during the day. So that would be my first motion for discussion and/or anything else.
Okay. Second. Yeah.
There's a couple of things on some of the residences that, we went out there, me, Selectman Mahon, and Ms. Kropelka, we went out there, and I think we encouraged all of you, if you had a chance to go kind of get an idea of what was going on and try and take a drive down the road and try and assess, what kind of impact it would have. And on the residences, like she said, the list that I looked at, there were a couple of residences that didn't have any parking and didn't look like they had any ability to put in any off-street parking. In particular, 16 and 18 Swan Place, the way the building is configured in the adjacent lots, there's no place for them to put in a driveway. And then when you were looking at 20 and 22 Swan Place, there is a curb cut adjacent to 22 Swan Place, and I've seen from 1 to 2 cars parked up in the side there. On the other side, on 20, there is no curb cut, but there is like a railroad tie in the road, so they're kind of driving up over the curb, and I've seen cars parked in there. So there's at least 1 space there. Maybe suggest putting in a curb cut to make it an actual driveway if it's possible. And then also the number 30, which is the last house on the left before you get to the kind of little alley that goes around the side. I do not think, in my opinion, and again, I'm not sure on the zoning, but from the location of where the fence is from the property at, I believe, number 26, 24, 26, I can't remember the number right now, I'm not sure if they can, even if they cleared out the trees or anything, if they would be able to put a driveway in there. So that's what things that we were looking at. I tried to go on multiple days to see how many cars I could see parked off, in different places. And I'm still, there is one other residence too, I'm not sure of, number 34 Swan, as I've seen a minivan parked directly in front of it, but I'm not sure if that's really a legal space or not. It's been kind of, it was parked up there right next to the steps going up to the property.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Kiro?
Yes, I just had a quick question. thank you for the motion. I think actually you've probably reached one of the best solution we can hope for. We're actually addressing true hardship situations. What I wanted to understand, though, is are you, even though you've separated them, are you looking at one hardship permit which covers both overnight and daytime parking rolled up in one permit?
No, because the overnight, similar to Forest Street and everybody else, they'll have to apply for
you're
it.
suggesting that
And then if we approve it, and Officer Rato and the fire department, then we approve it and it's $200 a year. We're not charging them. The reason I'm separating it out is because the 3 residences will not be charged during the day to park.
Will not be charged during
But
the
at
day?
night, in accordance with our overnight parking policy,
Okay.
just to be fair and treat everyone
Okay.
hopefully the same.
Just another question. So for, say, 16 and 18, would each unit get a spot, or would it just be one for the entire house?
What I envision, and if the board wants to, tweak it, and since this is very rare and we haven't really done it this way, I would just say if people apply for permits, in your thing, I think you said 16 and 18,
Yeah.
each apply, comes to the selectman's office, it goes out to fire and police, they assess the need as well as the physical space.
Oh, I'm sorry, 16 and 18 were one that was already
Yes,
named.
yes.
Okay,
yes.
so-
Just because I've cited 3 spaces in terms of the daytime parking, as far as overnight, other people can apply and we'll take it on a case-by-case basis. I'm just saying for those addresses during the day, we let them park on the street, they have to get a resident only or something that we make up, but now at night, that space becomes a different use.
No, I'm sorry, I guess I phrased my question wrong. So during the day, we have, or we're going to vote on giving daytime parking to the residents of these apartments. Now, would it be one spot for the entire, it would just be one per each unit?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're not talking about awarding any daytime spaces at all. We're just saying 2-hour parking.
Okay.
So we're not actually talking about awarding any daytime spaces. So currently, or up until, because it's like resident-only parking, so it's like you don't necessarily have an assigned space, but at the same
Yeah,
time, there's
there
not a
might
lot of
be.
competition. But I think the motion that Mrs. Mahon made, was that there's no assigned daytime spaces at all.
Okay. That makes sense.
No, what I said was, for those 3 residences,
Yeah.
during the day,
Yeah.
they can apply,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
because they have no
Because they can't apply.
possibility,
Right.
nothing.
Yeah.
And similar to Forest Street, there's no fee for that. But it's same thing, 1 car, sticker. And then I want to treat that space, all of Swan Place, differently at night.
But again, if a home has 4 units in it, is it 4 permits are allowed?
No, it's just whatever the police department and fire department say, basically is attached to that house.
I mean, we'll work whichever way, how many number of permits you want to be able to give out. I mean, we can go out and try and measure to assess approximately how many spaces are available, given, the average space, like when they're marking spaces around the center is usually 18 feet in length, just to allow for parallel parking and so forth, and keeping 3 feet away from the existing driveways and trying to assess how many spaces are available, and if that can help with the determination of how many spaces are available during the day, how many permits you want to give out per residence during the day. I mean, that's something that, as you guys,
So we'll have that information when we
we'll look at it.
actually get the daytime request for permit parking. Like, right now, we're not approving anything. I'm putting in a